At first was generating a ton of dust on a dry year, which I believe we're going to mitigate with pavement, which is fine. In regards to buffering and shielding, the headlights that go up and down this road, all of my bedrooms in my home are on the rear of my house. And obviously in the wintertime, it's dark at 4 o'clock, 4:30. And I know we say there's a few cars that go up and down this road. You've seen pictures of the parking lot. There's a lot of cars that go up and down this road, a lot of traffic. The fencing that's there, as maybe your architects, I'm not an engineer, can explain, with the elevations, when these cars come down the road, the headlights are well above the fence line. You know, this was an existing farm road way back in the day when this was Fippinger's dairy farm, basically, that we've utilized, and it bordered the old stone walls all the way along, and this is what we've used. My concern is not the view of the buildings. Obviously mine would be different with this amount of traffic. I've heard nothing as far as shielding my property from this endeavor. And I just think it's something that, again, if you guys would like to come out and visit this property as well, it's fine. You can see from any point in the yard clearly over the fence, and you can clearly see the road go up.
All right.
Bill, could you give Pam your phone number so that if people wanted to come out, call you?
I can send Pam an email, Art. Yep, absolutely.
Well, Bill, we've got on the letter that you forwarded, I have a copy of it in front of me, and your telephone number's on that.
Okay, great.
So, and all the commissioners late this afternoon received it. I mean, I haven't had a chance to review everything, and I want to make sure we give a fair consideration to everybody here as we evaluate this application. It's a very important to everyone from all aspects of this. Craig Sandin, who was chair when this first application came in, had some concerns about just making sure because we had the first application that came through, there were obviously engineering calculations that produced that level spreader, as you described it, you know, that just didn't work, which was pretty obvious it couldn't work. But somebody as an engineer put it in there, I presume. And so just to review the calculations, I think that would be in order. And there's been a lot of work obviously gone into producing this. I think we just got to make sure we're giving an adequate review. Can we get permission to, we've got 3 commissioners who would like to come out and take a look on site. Is that possible with Mrs. Reeve?
Oh, absolutely. Okay. Yeah. Whenever we'll make ourselves available, without doubt.
I just think we need to take a look how you're seeing it from your eyes, and without trees, without no leaves, it gives us the best opportunity to see what
absolutely
really looks at.
The possibility of visiting the sites, both the subject site and the neighboring site, was discussed at the earlier application that had been withdrawn from November. And at that time, I had checked with the town's legal counsel attorney, Kevin Nelligan, who had recommended that sure, a site visit was appropriate, but that there should be no discussion. There won't be any questions. There won't be any testimony received. It will strictly be limited to, you know, a physical viewing of the site with no questions or comments, just so that we're all clear on that. And the meeting will be posted. And you really do have to make it available to anyone who wants to come, you know, logistically.
I agree. I think that's important. That's why we're having the public hearing on this.
Yep. Just so that everyone here knows that, you know, it'll be posted, but there won't be any chance for dialogue.
Comments.
Just a site walk.
Yes, just a sidewalk. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's important, especially what Bill just brought forward, you know, as far as the driveway coming down behind your house. And if it could contribute to your peace and tranquility, enjoying your own property in this country setting, I think that, we've got to look at that and evaluate it appropriately.
Much appreciated, I have to say. Thank you.
We're all trying to make our community as good as we can, and nobody's perfect. So, input like this, hopefully we try to think as much as we can, because we've been around this for quite a while, but you're living with it. And that's what we want to get, is everybody's input and try to do the best we can. I think, Pam, I would think.
Sorry. Can
Yes.
I interrupt you for a second?
Yes, sure.
You brought up a comment about calculations of the existing coverage and stuff.
Yes.
On the current plans, it has the existing coverage for the building
Yes.
as being 9,918 feet. And on the October 16th plan, it had it being at 8,980 feet. So there's like roughly 1,000 square feet more somewheres.
Okay.
I'm just wondering where that 1,000 square feet came from.
Maybe Jason, you could just
Yep,
clarify that.
hang on, I'm bringing my plan up here. Now if I can share it, hang on a second. So on the original site plan, the building called out as, and it actually, it's called out here as 9810. And
9810?
That says 8980.
I mean, 8910, I'm sorry, or 8980.
Yeah.
And what that represented was when the perimeter of just the building and not some of the overhang
Okay.
as well. So I went around and captured the area of the perimeter of the building and any overhangs in the front there. And I'm trying to think of, I think that was the only difference. So what do I have for the area? It increased a little bit.
You got 9,918 now.
9,918.
So just under 1,000 square feet.
Just
All right,
under
I'll have
1,000
to-
square feet more.
I'll have to check that.
All right, if you could do that, because
Yeah,
I think what we're going to need to do, because we want to do a site walk,
sure.
is we want to continue this public hearing so that we can fully digest, visually what it's going to be, the impact, the same thing on the bordering residential, as this driveway comes down off the hill. And I'm still concerned about this water problem that's coming onto the front property, that's coming out of that little culvert, or not culvert, but little pipe. And then it looks like it's a continuing, ongoing problem that's been there for years. And if anything gets into that wetland above, as it comes down the hill, that's going to contribute to it. But it was a pre-existing water course and so forth from what you've described. But I think getting out there and walking it and visualizing it in person instead of just on the plan will help us.
That's what I'm asking.
Yeah,
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I think you're right. And I think when you're out there too, you'll see what the actual size of this basin, if you want to call it that, is like between the upper property and the lower one.
Okay.
I mean, it's pretty large.
Yeah.
And this is really what takes the runoff, is this it's a substantial size in here.
Yes. Okay. All right. Well, we'll learn a lot by doing that. And I think that, and then
Oh,
somebody just Speak.
Mr. Chairman, I just wanted to speak to Bill Pozo's comment
Yes.
about I guess the volume of traffic.
Yeah.
We did read the study that was submitted, the traffic study that was submitted.
Mhm.
And noticed that that study was based on 10 employees and 4 to 5 volunteers daily.
Yes.
And as we have noted over the years, there have been a substantially larger number of employees than 10.
Mhm.
As early back as there was an article published in the Republican American on the 12th of January in 2020 that cited that there were 20 employees of ECAD. And in years prior, there were as much as, 32 employees? 32 employees and 24 employees in some years prior as well. So our thoughts were that maybe the traffic study should be based on numbers that were not COVID impacted per se, and maybe projected on the fact that also Mr. Picard stated in this newspaper article that this new building would necessitate hiring another 3 to 4 more employees, which as of January, if you took the January number and the 3 to 4 more, you're talking 24 employees. So, you know, if you're building this size of facility, it would only stand to reason that the business plan is to increase the number of employees. And we just felt that 10 was probably not a terribly accurate representation of what has been and what is potentially projected for. Just when Bill was talking about the amount of traffic, that just made me think of the study and kind of some of the things that we came across.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, interject really quick here. I believe by ECAD's 2019 tax returns, they claim 32 full-time employees and 8 volunteers, which is actually 40 employees,
That,
40 personnel.
Okay. Well,
Dale,
but we're obviously the roadway, the driveway that's going in there would be improved to a width that could handle emergency equipment, and it'd be maintained in a fashion that would not be creating all the dust potential and so on and so forth that you get from a gravel driveway. And a gravel driveway really needs to be maintained on a regular basis because of the erosion that takes place. So I think getting out on the site and looking from the Newfield Road side up toward the driveway that's there now and where it's going to be improved, and then going up to your property, Amy, that we could get a better perspective there and fully evaluate what's going on and its impact on the neighbors. So if that's acceptable to everybody, then I'd like to have a continuation of the public hearing be motioned.
George, just
Okay.
before we continue the hearing, I've got a couple questions for Jason, if I could.
Go ahead, yes, Peter.
Because we had a meeting up there, I did, with Chief Legassi from Winston Fire and Steve Williams regarding the road back on January 11th. And at that point, part of the road was going to be 16 feet. Since then, they apparently come up with plans to be able to widen the complete road to 20 feet, including where the culvert area is. I just wondering what, where's your revised plans? I haven't seen those yet. And are you extending that culvert or how are you getting?
No, the plan that is submitted is showing the driveway 20 feet wide.
So your culvert now is 20 feet. You have enough width there.
Yes, we don't have to extend the culvert. The only thing that has to happen is there's some not large, but I would say medium to smaller sized boulders that are along the side of the driveway.
Remember those? Yes,
Yeah, and we see where there's room to slide those out to make that width. Just to
Okay.
slide them
Are you-
out.
you're gonna
Uh,
head wall at the end of the culvert on both ends to get that width or what?
it's not a vertical slope there. So the boulders they go down at an angle and so there's room to make it, I guess it'll be a little more vertical when it's done. And they only have to slide 2 feet. That's it.
Yeah, because you've got 16 feet there now and you need to go another 2 feet each side.
Right.
Okay,
And we saw that we could do that without extending the culvert.
okay, what do you
Well-
propose to do down by Newfield Road in that area?
Hold on. So where specifically?
The entrance at Newfield Road, that area there where the hill is coming off of Newfield Road?
Yeah. Looking at it here. So, I mean, we haven't done anything with that area.
So my question is that your traffic engineer, for his report dated December 10th, his report is stating that that area will only allow one car to pass in and out of there, and that it's only 15 feet wide. So either there's an error in his measurements or in your calculations.
Well, when you say calculations, what are you referring to?
It's in his report that the driveway is 15 feet wide.
Yeah.
You're stating in your letter to Steve Williams and to the state that you're gonna have a 20-foot wide driveway. How can you have a 20-foot wide driveway if it's only 15 feet wide? That's why I'm asking, what are you doing at the entrance coming off of Newfield Road?
Well, we have not proposed any change there.
But then you're not meeting the requirements for a 20-foot driveway if it's only 15 feet now.
Well, it's 20 feet on the property that the activity is occurring on. And,
Correct.
and when the fire chief was out there, he made the comment that he had no problem getting his truck in there.
I'm not arguing that. I'm arguing the fact that you are stating and the state requires a 20-foot driveway beginning to end. And this is only 15 feet at the roadway is what my problem is. So you're not meeting the state requirement.
Okay. Well, we'll have to look into this.
Okay, the other issue, and it came out back in 2016. Basically, most of this work is being done on the rear property. There are two separate properties, yes, and they're both owned by ECAD. My opinion is that they should be merged as one property because basically there's not any road frontage for the rear property.
It's a rear lot.
Yeah, it's a rear lot with no road frontage, which technically isn't buildable on. The two properties should be connected so that you have the proper road frontage.
Well, we don't have non-conforming lots. It was the town that compelled Dale to split the lot.
I don't know anything about that. From the
Dale,
original
Dale could speak to that.
Boy, I'll tell you.
motion.
This gets worse the longer we talk.
I know.
Yeah. There's nothing in the regulations that can compel a merger of two conforming lots. And so the frontage on a rear lot is not what's at the road. It's the lot line that's most parallel with the road.
Well, the issue is, and I own a rear lot and it has no road frontage, and the town of Winchester will not let me build on it. And it's a legal lot because it's over 2 acres. So
I don't know what your situation is, but the town told Dale to split this property, and he did.
And we can't change it either because the bank has a mortgage on this property. Okay, so that I'm not merging both properties, so I can't. There's 2 mortgages on this property
Well, I'm
that
not
have to
talking,
be paid for off before we would be able to even make that kind of move.
I'm
So
just.
let's just forget about
All
that,
right,
please.
all right. Let's not go back and forth. I think that what Peter's point is, the fire regulations or statute, whatever you want to describe it as, it says 20 feet from start to finish.
Okay,
So that has to be complied with unless you've got an alternate, a relief from the state. So if you would please look at that so that we don't have that kind of a situation.
Maybe remeasure it.
Oh, you got a different tape? Jeez.
I don't know. You got 2 different measurements.
This is
Somebody's
pretty
using.
creative, yeah. Well, anyways,
We'll
it needs
look
to
at
be, it has to be looked at because it should be on the plan also what its dimension. And so that we're in compliance and everybody is happy if it goes forward. And I mean, you've already got an access point there. So if you've got to find 5 feet somehow there, you've got to look at that if you could, Jason.
We'll look at it.
All right. Peter, did you have any other issues that from?
I'll save them till I make a motion. We adjourn the public hearing.
No, let's continue the
Continuing.
public hearing.
Continue it.
Okay. Do we have a second for that motion?
Second.
And then let's put a date to what it's being continued to.
Well,
We
I
should
would
be
think
able
the
to do
next
that
regular meeting,
within
right?
2 weeks.
well,
You want to do that the 8th?
No, let's pick a date to meet. Well, you're not gonna be, I'm trying to think if,
You're looking for a date for continue the public hearing?
yeah, I mean, that's February 8th, the next regular meeting. But you're gonna have a site visit in between. But that's not part of the public hearing because there's gonna be no discussion.
Right. It's just a site
Right,
visit. Right.
right. So you're continuing the public hearing to February 8th.
That's what I'd like to do so we can keep this moving. Everybody in agreement to that?
Yes.
That's 2022 or 2021?
What is this, a cartoon? 2022. Come on, Art. Time flies without having to push it ahead too far.
Oh, okay.
Jesus. Hey, it's getting late. We're gonna get kind of slap happy here. All right, let's continue, add to your motion, if you would, to February 8th.
Yes, continue this public hearing to February 8th, 7 PM.
Okay,
Second it.
and Art seconded. All right, any further discussion on the motion? All in favor? Very good. Pam, if you could, we'll coordinate to set up a site visit with
I
the
think she
property.
got kicked out.
No,
Mr.
she's here.
Chairman. Oh, is
She's
she?
here. Yeah.
Oh,
I've been
great.
picked out a lot tonight, but you know. But yeah,
He's hiding.
I will. I'll
Okay, so
coordinate
we'll
that.
coordinate that, Pam, the next day or so, and we'll get everybody noticed on it. I guess we got a little bit of snow they're predicting tomorrow night, but who knows? They haven't been too bad
Yep.
so far. All right, so I appreciate everybody's input, and what we'll do is we'll take a vote. I think I just had a vote here. I'm even losing my awareness. All right, so we'll move on to the next issue on our list here, which is approval of minutes, January 11th.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes, January 11th.
Okay, do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, Art. And all in favor, with if there's any discussion, otherwise all in favor? Thank you. Okay. Communications, Pam?
I don't have any.
No, okay.
Just the March Connecticut Bar Association
Yeah,
interview
good,
seminar.
good
Yep.
point.
Just let me know if you're interested.
I am, Art is. So Art may be out of town, but he'd like to get all the publications and so forth, so we should register him.
Sure.
But definitely put me down.
Mhm.
We've got some training money in our budget, I hope.
Yes. Yep.
So anybody else, please, the next day or so, if you could, we've got to respond by what, February something?
Yeah, February 1st, I think.
Okay, so that's coming up pretty shortly here.
Pam, put my name down, please.
Okay. All right. Okay, so if we can, what else do we have? Any, no other report? I see the health center is open, which is, what a beautiful job that was done. Wonderful addition to the community.
Very nice.
Lifestar's already been in. Too bad it has to be operated for real things and not just practice, but somebody was injured and they had to fly her out. Pam has been working hard on the background on the POCD. I don't know, she must live at the town hall because there's so much, some of it is just, very difficult to fill all these little charts and so forth up. So time consuming, and she's wearing a lot of hats. So I appreciate that, Pam. Any other comments from the commissioners?
Motion to adjourn.
Okay, we have a second on that. Geez,
Second.
there he spoke up. I figured cut him off. Yeah. All in favor? Thanks, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.